It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim, from the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
Matthew Livelsberger and his partner Tim
Kennedy,
both Green Berets, appeared on the Ultimate Soldier Challenge 12 years ago.
For television, they always try to make it a little bit more competitive, but we swept the whole entire show.
When he appeared on the show, Livelsberger used a shortened version of his name, Matt Bird. So it took Tim Kennedy a while to put two and two together.
And then I saw a Matt Berg with a older photo of him, and I was like, oh no, dude, I know that guy. And then it just tore my heart out because he was a really great Green Beret.
And what was he like?
He was charming, he was talented, he was personable, he was kind, he was all the things that you would expect from a Green Beret.
Invited to advertise Area 51, a place cloaked in mystery and myth. It's the epicenter of stories about alien spacecraft, secret military experiments, and revolutionary technologies. But what if the truth is even more disturbing? What if Area 51 secrecy hides not just fake alien tales, but human tragedies, and technologies so advanced yet so simple it can disrupt the global economy? This is the story of Cold War conspiracies, gravitic drones, i.e. EMF Propulsion, and the tragic death of Green Beret Matthew Livelsberger. Area 51 was born from secrecy. During World War II, the Manhattan Project created the atomic bomb, setting the stage for an unprecedented level of classified operations. In the 1950s, this remote site became a testing ground for cutting-edge technologies like the U-2 spy plane, designed to evade Soviet radar during the height of the Cold War paranoia. Even presidents were often kept in the dark. This secrecy laid the foundation for a place where innovation collided with conspiracy. In 1947, the supposed crash of a UFO in Roswell, New Mexico, captivated the world. But journalist Annie Jacobson uncovered a shocking alternative. It wasn't aliens. Stalin allegedly orchestrated the crash using a modified aircraft piloted by surgically altered children. A horrifying experiment to mimic extraterrestrial life and incite panic in the United States. Black propaganda. The wreckage and bodies were transported eventually to Area 51, initially Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, fueling Area 51's reputation as a hub for UFO research. But the truth is darker, a blend of Cold War psychological warfare and unspeakable human experiments. While Roswell stoked the flames of UFO conspiracies, the real focus at Area 51 was technological dominance. The Soviet Union may have reverse engineered the Horton Brothers flying wing designs, pioneers of stealth technology. Meanwhile, the United States was developing electromagnetic field propulsion, EMF propulsion devices, exploring possibilities of hover and flight technology powered by advanced magnetic circuits. These innovations had the potential to revolutionize aviation and threaten the balance of global power. In the 21st century, these experiments evolved into what some call gravitic drones, aircraft capable of defying gravity, evading radar, and achieving speeds of 20,000 miles per hour. In 2004, Navy Commander David Fravor encountered Chick and other pilots who he was militarily superior to, encountered the Tic Tac ship aircraft displaying these characteristics. It was this culmination of decades of secret research at places like Area 51 and 4. These technologies represent not just military superiority, but a potential shift away from fossil fuels, a threat to the world's energy economy, and therein lies the original source of its Department of Energy precursor secrecy, the economic. It upends the global fossil fuel-based world economy. Matthew Livelsberger was a decorated Green Beret with 18 years of service. As a Special Forces Master Sergeant or 18 Zulu, he had access to some of the military's most classified projects, but by 2024, Livelsberger was battling PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, haunted by his combat experiences and the knowledge he carried about advanced drone technology. Towards the end of this year, he was working on assembling the drones, presumably gravitic. He didn't specify that he was working on the gravitic drones, but presumably gravitic. There would be no need for someone of his ilk to assemble non-gravitic drones. That could be easily accomplished by manifold non-classified contract. So, his text to his ex-girlfriend Alicia Arret revealed a man struggling under the weight of secrets and personal trauma. In the days before his death, he described the Tesla Cybertruck invented as ungodly fast, but there was a deeper purpose behind his excitement. Livelsberger was being tracked by federal agents and was absolutely right, except in being ignorant of Russia's historical role. In an email to Army Intelligence Officer Sam Shumate, He mentioned a failed kidnapping attempt. He suspected the CIA. He didn't say this, but it is suspected the CIA ground branch and elite paramilitary unit not authorized to operate domestically is responsible. So there's CIA air branch and CIA ground branch. The CIA is not chartered to operate domestically, so they don't have arrest authority. So picture this, like, if Home Slice was legitimately guilty, he could have very easily been arrested and interrogated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, or, any potential, number of responsible relevant agencies that have arrest authority domestically. But CIA ground branch or air branch, CIA writ large, does not have that authority. And so you see the sinister aspect of what it means to be potentially kidnapped domestically. He would have in all likelihood been privately executed, and they would have made it look like a suicide or an accident. One of the two, either suicide or accident. So he avoided that. And he is 18 years Special Forces, and presumably he concealed carries. So the combination of that and him being hyper aware due to his past training and what have you, led to that presumable kidnap attempt by CIA ground branch to fail. So you just kind of have to understand that. So why? Livelsberger's knowledge of gravitic drones and their potential to disrupt the fossil fuel-based world economy overnight, literally, made him a perceived threat. This failed attempt may have been the catalyst for the tragic final decision. On December 29th, 2024, Livelsberger began a journey across the Southwest. He rented a Tesla Cybertruck, legally purchased 2 firearms to include the Baby Eagle, the Desert Eagle 45, that he ended up killing himself with. So normal Desert Eagles don't come in 45 caliber, but the Baby Eagle does. So he rented a Tesla Cybertruck, legally purchased 2 firearms, and sent emails warning of advanced Chinese drone technology and war crimes he witnessed in Afghanistan. This particular video isn't about war crimes, because really I don't care about war crimes. It's just something that happens. There's collateral damage. People make mistakes. That's not the purpose of this video. His manifesto wasn't about violence. It was about avoiding World War III and exposing the truth. He was very explicit in making it clear that he wasn't intending to commit an act of terrorism, and he didn't kill anyone. So he just killed himself. His manifesto wasn't about violence. It was about avoiding World War III and exposing the truth. By New Year's Day, he had reached Las Vegas. At 8:40 a.m. on January 1st, 2025, Livelsberger pulled into Trump International Hotel's valet station in Las Vegas. 17 seconds after shooting himself in the head with his Baby Eagle, the Cybertruck exploded. There were propane canisters, gasoline, and fireworks in the trunk, so making a spectacle. But you have to understand that he had seen that YouTube video previously wherein composition 4C4, which is much more explosive than the items that he chose, that was contained within the Cybertruck. So the Cybertruck essentially is so durable that it could contain something far more explosive than what he used. What he used was just to create a spectacle, and he didn't kill anyone except himself. It wasn't an act of terrorism. Livelsberger ensured the blast was contained, injuring no one but himself. His death was a calculated protest, a desperate attempt to make the world pay attention to his disclosures about gravitic drones, war crimes, and a system he believed was hurtling towards disaster, i.e. World War III. Livelsberger's emails to Sam Schumate and Sean Ryan, the latter being a former Navy SEAL podcaster, detailed his fears of surveillance, the global implications of gravitic propulsion, and his struggle with PTSD. His actions were not those of a terrorist, but of a man pushed to the edge, trying to warn the world about the catastrophic potential of unchecked secrecy. His story forces us to ask, how much are we going to sacrifice for the sake of innovation and power? And it's at this point that I read that email, which he initially sent to an intelligence officer, an Army intelligence officer, and later forwarded to Sean Ryan. So this is like a response to the initial email that he sent to the intelligence agent. We don't have that. So presumably that would have included more details about the failed kidnapping attempt. In any case, in case I do not make it to my decision point, we're on to the Mexico border, and I'm sending this now. Please do not release this until 1st of January, and keep my identity private until then. First off, I'm not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with quote-unquote drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history of the United States. Only we and China have this capability. That editorializing, that's where he's drawn. I mean, historically, like, Russia's been a main player, but he just wasn't huge on that. Only we and China have this capability. Our OPCEN location for this activity is the box. In the boxes below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they're using it similar to how they use the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comm system. There are dozens of these balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned AC. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. You just said WH, but obviously White House. But if they wanted, there's checkmate. USG to get the history of this U.S. government. You see the history of this, power employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico. But won't because they know I'm armed and have a massive BBIED, but that was the purpose of putting like the fireworks in my head here in a very strong Cybertruck. Been trying to maintain a very visible profile, and I kept my phone, and they're definitely digitally tracking it. And all the above are true. This is not like some, paranoid noonie. This is somebody who's worked, 18 years special forces and has done innumerable operations, presumably at times with CIA ground branch, Afghanistan or what have you. So he knows exactly what he's talking about, and he was working on assembling presumably gravitic drones. I believe in Colorado. I acknowledge this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in the Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of CIVCAS that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. USFORA continued strikes after spotlighting civilians on an initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called them war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with USFORA and agents. That's anonymized. Of the DEA. Anonymized by the recipient of the DEA. So I don't, in this case, Sean Ryan. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with General Miller's IO staff on this, as well as the response to Bala Merghab, AOB-S commander at the time. The name is also redacted by Sean Ryan. Can validate this. We need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war, because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. For vetting my LinkedIn, is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty. So this is not somebody been out of the loop for a long time. This is somebody who's just on leave like over Christmas holiday, and so he had his active duty, top secret clearance, and was working on assembling the gravitic propulsion drones. So this is somebody who's fully in touch with reality, because if he wasn't, he would have lost his job a long time ago. Preventing my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu. So the 18 designates the Special Forces, and Zulu is the sergeant. So it's the Special Forces Sergeant 18 Zulu. Out of my 1-10, my profile is public. I have an active TS-CI with USAP access. So I'm familiar with the top secret, the TS-CI, it's top secret with secure compartmented information access. I mean, I've had that in the past. So I know exactly what you're talking about there. But with USAP access, it's over and above. So this is legitimate. The guy knows what he's talking about. He's in touch with reality, or he would have lost his position a long time ago. This is not some poser. This is like somebody who basically gave his life for the country, when you think about it. And it's an utter tragedy. And that's why I'm making this video now. It's mostly about what is termed the revolution, so that was the off to say no. It's mostly about what is termed the revolution in military affairs. Meditate on 20,000 mile per hour EMF propulsion suicide drones cheaply produced in mass quantities and created to avoid the Third World War. New studies begin to describe the horror, potentially the instant obliteration of the country's government and military without the need of nuclear weapons. With nuclear warheads on EMF propulsion suicide drones, you have potentiality of the near instantaneous obliteration of human life on Earth. Without the firing of a single ICBM intercontinental ballistic missile, missiles are entirely unnecessary where you miss the point. The reason it hasn't manifested yet is financial. The public knowledge of the EMF propulsion technology radically modifies the global economy away from commoditizable fossil fuels and travel and transport costs approach the limit of zero. So to perish the thought of aliens didn't understand. Germany in World War II had a flying saucer that utilized EMF propulsion. We've been burning fossil fuels ever since because that technology was assigned to the same Department of Energy at the time precursor. The names changed many times on purpose. Classification as nuclear secrets. It was born top secret. We never subject to fully approved information access or congressional review. So it's separate from the Department of Defense COD classification system. It's not dangerous, and the global economy will adjust. The secret is so simple. Strongly opposing electromagnets have been in close opposition to disrupt the ability of gravity's magnetic component to perfectly internally cancel. The local opposing magnetic field can be condensed in the magnetic circuit. This means that the electromagnet's cores may be saturated around 2 Tesla, but the opposing external fields scale with electric current, and those opposing scaled fields can be confined in a magnetic circuit that condenses the same. CIA Air Branch gets aircraft technology before the military. Thus you see a situation where Navy pilots encounter 20,000 miles per hour EMF propulsion next generation drones and honestly testify they have no idea. That was in the past, so. But of course they don't know because Lockheed Martin's Covert and CIA Air Branch operating on the Area 51 as well as other major global intel agencies keep it secret to protect the global fossil fuel-based economy. Replicated the Lockheed Martin senior research scientist Boyd Bushman's brass pulpit opposing neodymium magnets free-fall experiment using a constant frame rate slow-motion camera. Neodymiums, those are the permanent rare earth magnets discovered in the 1980s. Neodymiums are not powerful enough without hybridizing them to levitate. That means wrapping an electrified copper wire around the permanent rare earth magnets. That makes it a hybrid magnet. To demonstrate the levitation, you need to utilize electromagnets that likely confine and concentrate the strongly opposing magnetic field in a sufficiently thick to avoid saturation. Magnetic circuit made of Hyperco 49 or Hyperco 50. This is not in the know would very likely state and have stated that gravity does not have a magnetic component because they have not disrupted gravity's hidden magnetic component that normally perfectly cancels internally. Strongly opposing electromagnets forcefully kept close together to disrupt the ability of the normally hidden magnetic component from perfectly internally canceling. The result is EMF propulsion. Simply call it what proposed World War II U.S. engineers did, EMF Propulsion. This is not in the know has a better idea how the 20,000 mile per hour next generation EMF Propulsion CIA air branch AI controlled drones that have correlated F-18 visual IR, infrared, and radar data are propelled, then they're free to speculate. Absent that, they can simply replicate the portion experiment. Lockheed Martin senior research scientist experimenting in a vacuum chamber. In the secrecy of Area 51 through the streets of Las Vegas, Matthew Livelsberger's story is a tragic intersection of humanity, technology, and ethics. The disclosure raises critical questions about the future of warfare, energy, and the cost of keeping secrets. He was a whistleblower, make no mistake. He was a victim of his own knowledge. Both these statements are true. Matthew Livelsberger's sacrifice wasn't about destruction. It was about the truth. He wanted the world to know. And this guy supported Trump. He wasn't anti-Trump. He wanted the world to know what was happening behind the veil of secrecy because his life was in jeopardy. Regardless of whether he committed suicide or was privately executed by CIA ground branch, who literally didn't even have the authority to arrest him, but that sink in. They tried to kidnap him, presumably to privately execute him. They failed. And that was the catalyst for his PTSD suicide. His PTSD is what ultimately led him to do what he did, to do the public suicide, to draw attention, in his hope to prevent World War III. This is a man perfectly in touch with reality. He's not some wacko. He's a special forces sergeant, fully there, aside from just PTSD, tasked to assemble Gravitic drones, and he legitimately feared World War III. But understanding that he was a threat to public security, CIA ground branch was tasked to privately kidnap him, and that failed because he's a Special Forces Master Sergeant with 18 years of experience who presumably concealed carries. So it failed, and the result is public suicide. Let that sink in. His story isn't just about one man, it's about the future of humanity. Share this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us in uncovering the truths that matter most. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and remember, the truth will prevail. God bless.